You guys, I love my job. You know I do. I love what I do, and I love finding out really interesting information. So I went online tonight, and I started digging around, and I said, all right, how big a deal is identity theft? Well, it's huge. And I think it's gotten even worse because of the internet. Once you can get a little bit of information out of your trash or private information, the internet opens literally an entire world of potentially kind of destroying your life for a long time, trying to get your identity back. Well, I read this study, I thought it was fascinating. They said the number one way, the government wrote this article, the number one way to help prevent identity theft was to shred. That was their first thing. Now, they listed a whole bunch of things underneath it that we'll get to later, but they said the number one most important is you've got to shred your private information. I am a shredder. I believe in it. I don't want the worry. I don't want the pressure of thinking, oh my goodness, will someone get my phone number? You don't want them to get your address. No, that's awful. And once it happens, it can take years to fix it. So here's what we've got. We have a brand new HP shredder. It's the most powerful we offered, the most feature-rich at the lowest price we've offered. We've never done an HP Today's special shredder, and it's literally the only shredder across all of our brands that we're offering for the entire year. You got one day to get it before it's sold out. I'm gonna go through the colors for you right off the bat, and then Aaron's gonna join me, and we're gonna get shreddy crazy. All right, starting over here, the very first color that I have right to my right is going to be officially the cinnamon. So it's like a cinnamon, a little bit kind of a rose goldy thing. And do you know, I have less than 600 for the day. Down here in front, this is gonna be your teal. That's an easy one. Then we have the next one right there. This is mulberry, which is like a deep kind of plummy color. The one right in front of me, this is going to be officially, I think, the portobello, which is brand new. Isn't that cool? I love it because it's kind of a light mushroomy color or like a dark ivory. Then behind that one, we have our indigo. So think your denim jeans. And then finally, always, always, always the favorite's going to be black. Remember, the most powerful, most versatile we've ever offered from HP. And again, this is your one chance for the whole year to get it as our best foot forward on a shredder. Now, hopefully this is fixing itself all night because I'm gonna say it once and hopefully all of our graphics will be correct later. But we have free shipping on all electronics today. So we've got everything coming up in the 2 hours. Actually, we'll give you free S&H. And then on top of that, you have 5 flex pays, which is great. So spread your payments over 5 months, but you get the shredder and it goes to work right away. Speaking of going to work, Erin Berger joins me for the entire hour or so. Hi, honey, how are you?
Almost 2 hours.
Almost
you got
2 hours,
short
right?
stick tonight, but I got lucky. Shredding is really important. We're gonna make it fun too. This shredder makes it just so darn easy to get your shredding sort of taken care of. It's a chore that you just get to, you know, kind of check off your list, quite frankly. First time, I've been with HP, gosh, I've been at HSN selling HP almost 20 years, about 17 years. First time we at HP have ever brought a shredder here and done a Today Special on it. We're so excited. We're the biggest selling brand out of all the great brands at HSN. Did you know the #1 selling brand, period, all the great health and beauty and fitness and fashion that HSN sells, the #1 selling brand? It's us. We're really proud of that. It's us at HP. Why? We bring the very best that we have here, and we bring it at extraordinary prices. Why this shredder? There are a couple of things about this shredder in particular that make it out of this world. #1, it has, as you might expect, a manual tray in front, right? So we can shred 1 page at a time. We can shred, I'm gonna grab 2 pages at a time. We can shred 1, 2, 3 pages at a time, up to 10-page manual feeder in front. And you see this just tears through it. It's nothing for this. But this is what really changes the game. Ready? This is an auto document feeder, and it's the largest auto document feeder we at HP have ever done here. This is the most powerful shredder at the best value we simply have ever done. So up to 120 pages go in the auto document feeder, which is a lot, as you can imagine. They shred about 2.6 pages, about 2.6 seconds per page to get your shredding done. So it's incredibly fast. In a few minutes, I'm gonna shred some other things for you. I'm gonna shred some credit cards and some staples and all kinds of stuff.
And I love how lickety-split it is. You guys will too. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this, because again, I'm such a nerd, Erin, you know, and I love doing my job and I love presenting information to you. I find this really enjoyable to, I hope, in our presentations, make you a more informed consumer. To me, this is one of the must-dos. Identity theft is so rampant today. And do you know when you throw stuff in your trash, once it hits the street or the alley, it is open game. Anybody can take stuff from your trash. It's completely legal if it's on a public street. What are you throwing away? For me, I don't throw anything away. And it's really funny. I was having a debate with my girlfriends. We were talking about shredding. Of all the nerdy things we talk about, I was talking about how much I love shredding. It gives me a sense of relief. I know I'm protected. I know somebody's not getting into my business. And I don't want to go through that horrible pain once someone steals your identity. Guys, that can be years to fix. It could potentially be thousands of dollars later. And why be reactive when tonight you can be totally proactive? The other thing I love, it's a clutter buster. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I mean, and we get so much junk mail. You know how it is. You get all those offers for doing credit cards, and then you get offers for doing this and for that. They send you loan things. Hey, do you want a new this? And all that information you absolutely must shred. You have to, unless you're willing to take the risk. And the risk can be really damaging in the long run. That's why we're so excited about this HP tonight. And I believe once you get it, it becomes such an easy habit, but then you don't have the piles of paper. For a long time, you guys, I was so nervous about throwing anything away. So instead of shredding it on an old shredder that took forever, I would just let it pile up. And that pile represented exhaustion to me. I was like kind of over it, Aaron, because the pile was so big.
Sure.
Finally, I got a shredder that does this type of cutting, this super multi-cut where they can't read anything. And then all of a sudden, shredding does actually, believe it or not, become fun.
There's something about, sort of just the peacefulness of watching it all go away. What do they call those videos? ASMR, I think is, kids have seen that term on YouTube, right? What's the ASMR? It's like, flowers blooming or any repetitive motion or repetitive sound. It is nice to see it all go away. And one of the things I want to point out, we have I put sort of a clear front on this shredder. I'm using the Indigo shredder now. Obviously, it comes with it's a little bit different front than this. So just be whatever color shredder you choose will go here, but you still have the window so you can see what's happening. And that really is one of the keys, being able to watch information. That's so important. So things like, and let's just kind of start with this stack here, and we'll talk about the things you should shred. And it's not just Suze that thinks you should shred it. It's not just me that thinks you should shred it. It's, in fact, the federal government. In fact, let's do this before I shred anymore. But the thing that I feel most guilty about in the course of these presentations is it shreds so fast. We go through so much paper. Sometimes I try to just slow it down a little bit because it really is a machine that just, when it'll shred 120 pages in a couple of seconds, we go through paper fast. And it's important that you're shredding your documents. Again, it's not just Suze that thinks it. It's not just me that thinks it. We'll show you right now. We've got a little still. The federal government recommends this. We say it's really important for consumers. In fact, let me say it exactly the way they do. There are many steps consumers can take to minimize their risk of being an identity theft victim. For example, consumers should closely guard your social security numbers, of course, that's kind of natural, right? And we should shred our charge receipts. We should shred our copies of credit applications, and we should shred other sensitive documents. And when it's this easy to do, you'll do it. So, for example, one of the many ways the FTC recommends protecting your identity is, again, shredding sensitive documents, shredding receipts, credit card offers, credit card applications, insurance forms, physician statements, checks, banks, expired credit cards, and other similar documents before you put them in your trash. You can put them in your trash after you shred them, particularly because this is a full-on microcut shredder, so it shreds things thoroughly. What are we talking about shredding? Your personal information, your medical records, your credit card statements and offers, your financial information, your utility bills, that's an important one, your tax documents after 7 years, your junk mail, all of these things that you don't even necessarily think about. Basically, it comes down to this. Anything where someone could get a social security number or could get an address or could get a name, and it's darn near everything. Now, there's a few features on this.
And by the way, your address is all over the place in your mail.
That's a great point.
It's everywhere. And honest to God, here's what I think is so fascinating. With the advent of social media and the internet, honestly, it's become even worse. Because if they can get just a smidgen of information from you,
out there, man.
then they can go crazy on the internet. And here's something else that the government said too, which I thought was fascinating, is this was amazing. First off, if they get your information just a little bit, they can buy stuff with a credit card. They can open up a new credit card. So now you've got a new credit card in your name that someone else is using because they open it up in your name. They can open phone, electricity, and gas accounts in your name. And they can steal your tax refund, and they can use your health insurance as you under them. Like those new ones, I was like, who would have thunk, right?
It's scary.
And also, you want the worst one? They can say it's you when they're arrested.
Oh.
That is, no,
Ooh,
isn't
Lord.
that insane?
Yeah.
So that, honestly, criminals and the bad guys and the girls that are out there, they're getting trickier and trickier and smarter, unfortunately. But can you imagine they use your name when you're arrested? Because guess what? They have your name and address. Wouldn't that be really easy to do?
That's their full-time job, right? They work as hard at their full-time job,
Yes,
right? As
yes.
we work at
Good
our
point.
full-time job. So the thing is, there's this really easy solution, though. I mean, so that's kind of all the bad news, and I don't like to, I guess, harp on it too much. But the really good news is things like credit cards, look, can go right in here. And they're that's how easy it is. You never have to think about it again. Or staples, or what. It's strong enough. This is the strongest HP shredder. HP is the #1 name in computers. HP is the #1 name in personal printers. And in fact, we have both of those coming up later in Suzanne's show today. But I know a lot of us have we feel at peace using HP in our office. Now, some things specifically about this shredder that make it different than other shredders, other than the auto document feeder, which is one of my favorite things. These are two really big things. #1, it's on casters. So this rolls wherever you want it to roll. It only weighs about 25 pounds, but it's nice to know, isn't it, that if you need to move it somewhere, you don't have to pick it up.
Really easy.
It comes all put together. So it is totally pre-assembled. When this comes to your house, you open up the box, you take it out of the box, and you plug it into the wall. That's it. There's no, as a guy who spent the entire pandemic assembling electronic after electronic after electronic, because we broadcast from our homes, it was so nice to get these shredders because I opened up the box and was like, great, we're ready to present it. It just feels good, right? To not have a bunch of extra stuff to do when you get your new baby home. So, comes totally assembled, and it doesn't require any maintenance. No, you'll notice we're not selling, and I have done this with other non-HP shredders in the past, oil sheets. You've heard of oil, having to oil the blades. You don't have to oil these blades. So that's a totally different thing. There is no maintenance. It comes fully assembled. I want to show you one other really nice, as the father of a 4-year-old, soon to be 5-year-old, I want to show you a really nice little safety mechanism that's built in as well. So whether you're doing, again, the manual shredding here, or whether you're doing the automatic shredding, there's an auto stop feature. So when the bin pulls out, it's like a magnet that disconnects. And so when the bin pulls out, the shredder stops. So you don't have to worry about anyone sticking fingers in there, or trying to grab in there, or anything like that. Similarly, if for any reason you need to unjam the shredder, it stops when you pull up. There's an access area here, and there's another access area here.
Oh, that's a huge feature.
Yeah, so that's, and again, everything automatically stops when those are pulled up, and then when this goes back in, it starts shredding for you again.
Okay, so just a little heads up where we stand with colors. The black is always the most popular, and that indeed is true tonight. Also, teal, the teal, which is gorgeous, that is the second most popular. I'm gonna kind of walk over here, if you don't mind, really quick, because there's so many convenient ways to put this. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and yet it has an amazing capacity, which is pretty cool for its little teeny footprint. So right here, by the way, this HP printer, if you need a printer, you gotta stick around to see this one. But here it is, it's just tucked under a desk. You can see it takes very little space up. I can still work under here, but it means easy access, which more likely means you're gonna be able to shred and shred more often. Now, of course, we talked about the colors, and Aaron's still shredding like a madman, which is fabulous, because, well, we can. But here's the thing, here's my little tip for you on shredders. Okay, so I live in a very small space, and I didn't quite know where to put my shredder. But I do have a shelving unit that actually has 2 doors that opens up. So I basically did this. Just pretend this is my shelving unit. I actually cut a hole in the back of it. I ran an extension cord from the plug into the back of my shelving unit, and I plugged mine in. Now, I just open my door, I pull it out a little bit, I throw my shreddy stuff in there, and then I can close it away. But look at how little space this takes. And yet it does have a really nice big capacity for this little small footprint. So I just love being able to tuck it away. If you don't want it sitting out or looking at it all the time, that's my my little tip for you. Another thing that I love is you create kind of a station at your house. Do you have that place where everybody throws the mail down, they throw their keys down, they throw their receipts down, and you got this great big pile? Well, so many people, because it's so small, will just put it right in their kitchen near kind of that communal area. And guess what? You teach everybody to shred, Aaron. Like, okay, kids, we don't need that permission slip anymore. Shred it away. Or maybe you've got a report that came from school and you just don't want to throw that in the trash. You're going to shred it immediately. So make this part of your home communals. You know, everybody tosses all their junk, the keys, the wallet, the papers, the mail. And instead of having that big pile of clutter in the hallway, maybe by the door entry or in your kitchen, just take this and very discreetly have it in there, and voila, you're good. You're not going to see it, but then everybody's going to use it, which is so important. Okay, a couple quick notes too, and I was such a nerd. I wrote down so much information. The last time we did our HP, it was 110 sheets that it could shred in the back. Now it's been up to 120, so it's more powerful and more versatile than ever before. Also, it has the biggest capacity. There's no maintenance. It's a large bin. We talked about the wheels. It's fast, it's safe, but most important above all this information is you will get a sense of relief. That's how I sum up my shredding. I get my mail, I go through it, and then I have such an amazing sense of relief. And it's something that I feel like, Aaron, it's kind of like this. If you don't shred your stuff and you just throw it away, or maybe you tear it in half and you think that's gonna do it, there's always that little voice in the back of your head that is worried someone's gonna get it, because it is so prevalent today having identity theft happen to people.
Let's talk, just sort of stop for a minute and talk about when we need to shred things. So I think most of us sort of get an idea of the things that we need to shred, but then we think, well, I don't know, do I need to keep that longer? Does that need to go in the attic? Does the government require me, you know, taxes or something? I think that most of us think about. So here's what we say. Here's some sort of rules of thumb for you. So many of you guys are picking this up. Congratulations. It is the first time we've ever done an HP Today's Special shredder. I've sold HP at HSN for almost 20 years. First time I've ever been out here with a Today's Special on a shredder. It's exciting, and it's the only one that we HP are going to bring all year. So we know that. Last one of the year, we can already safely say.
And it's the only shredder for the rest of the year.
And it's the only
like
shredder. Cool. No other brands. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. So what to shred? Immediately shred your sales and ATM receipts, your credit card statements, your credit card offers, your paid utility bills. Make sure those things are shredded right away. Again, sales and ATM receipts, credit card statements, credit card offers, and paid utility bills. For up to 1 year, you can keep your pay stubs, bank statements, and paid undisputed medical bills. So those, after a year, out of here, right? And then after 7 years, basically everything. All your tax documents that are older than 7 years, all your W-2s, those things need to go. They don't need to live sort of nebulously forever. They gotta go, and this is the best way to get rid of them. Couple of things we wanna do. I wanna show you a feature on this. Actually, let's do this. Let's look at the size of the shreds first, and then I want to go over a feature. So
perfect.
Let's step over here for just a second. One of the really nice things, we were just talking about what you need to shred, sort of when you need to shred it, how you need to shred it. One of the really nice things about this shredder is that it's the micro cut, right? So number one, that's about safety. Let me show you a brief history, I promise it's gonna be a very brief history, of shredding. This is strip shredding. So this is kind of the first shredding that we got, and it was better than nothing, frankly. But the problem with strip shredding is you could still read information. You can read addresses, you could read birthdays, you can read social security numbers, names, all that kind of stuff. So that's a strip shred. Well, then it got a little bit better. I'm gonna set this down. This is what was next. This is called a cross-cut shred. And you could see that was better, right? So the cross-cut shred improved upon it, but again, you could still read little information, little names and little numbers. Now we have this sort of this full-on micro cut, which is like a confetti shred. You can't read any information. So number one, it's safer. That's the most important thing. And if you take nothing else away from today, take that when you buy a shredder, you're making your life a little bit safer, a little bit more secure, primarily because of identity theft. The other thing you're doing is you're giving yourself less clutter. Well, with a strip shred, this is 25 sheets shredded in here, okay? That's 25 sheets, that's a strip shred. This is a cross-cut shredder, and you can see how much volume this takes up. It was better, but this is your full micro cut. That's 25 sheets of paper. It takes up almost no room whatsoever. Yeah. And that's one of the really nice things about micro cut shredding is that you can get an awful lot of things shredded into that bin, which by the way is a 4.5 gallon bin. So you can get a ton of paper shredded in there without having to empty it.
Which is fantastic. And again, the footprint is teeny weeny. I mean, like, it's such a small little convenient footprint. It takes up virtually no space whatsoever. And that's a big deal. Because in the old days, and even probably you might have one, you have a big old hot one. My old shredder used to do the basic shred, and I knew it was pretty useless, but the problem was, Aaron, I would do like, I don't know, 10 things, and it would get too hot and it would stop dead on me. It just didn't have the capacity to last very long, and I have to wait for several hours for it to cool down. That was old technology, and if you have this right now, you know you're giggling with me. You're like, no, that's kind of what I got. Now's the perfect time to upgrade. Now, here's how we've made it really easy for you, though. Guys, we're giving you 5 flex pays. That's any major credit card. If you got a major credit card, you're good to go. $24, pay it off in 5 months. We have free shipping. That's almost $17 you're saving right now in shipping alone. Now, if you get our HSN card, guess what? We're gonna give you $50 off that first item you purchase. So right now, this would be a brilliant way to apply for the card and then buy the shredder, and immediately we'll take another $50 off, and you're already saving off the regular price. Please remember, this is a limited time offer too. You never ever want to wait on our today's special. And just so you know, the black followed by the teal are the 2 most popular. The cinnamon over here, by the way, is a brand new color. The portobello, which I think is beautiful, is another brand new color we're launching. And then we have the mulberry, and then of course you're working with the indigo over there.
One of the nice things is you don't have to open your mail. You know, if your mail doesn't have more than 10 pages thick in it, right? I've put a page in here. This is an envelope. I'm just gonna pop it into the manual feed there. It just goes right through. Again, you can do up to 10 pages at a time. So you can take your junk mail, pop it right in and let it go. Here, I've got a couple of pages. I'm gonna staple them together. This rips right through staples, rips right through credit cards. You don't have to worry about it. Now, in the auto dock feeder in the back, you don't wanna have staples or anything in those sheets. You want those sheets to be clean. But that front slot is designed to be able to go through a bigger width. I want to do something that we haven't done before. You know, we were talking a lot and we were sort of preparing for this, how we could show everyone just how fast this shredder is. Again, it shreds a piece of paper in about 2.6 seconds. So it's a really fast shred. We're gonna put up a clock. Rocky, let me know when we haven't done this yet. So you have to bear with us as we go through our technical program here.
Oh, they started it already. Oh, wait.
Quit talking, Aaron, put the papers in. Okay, 1. So in 30 seconds, this is 2. Where's the, oh, there it is, 9 seconds. 3, 4. This is how fast we're going. This is 5 in about 15 seconds. This is 6. Oh, did we lose our clock? This is
no, it's there.
7 pieces of paper. Oh, there it is, 7, 8. We're gonna get through at least 10, I think. 9. Okay, 10 in 25 seconds. We got 4 seconds left. 11, 12. All right, 30 seconds. We'll call it 12 pieces of paper. Went through 12 sheets in 30. I mean, it's fast. I talk fast, and I could barely keep up with it. Now, I'm going to show you another really cool feature. I'm going to grab these for a sec. Suze, you got to help me.
Yes.
Your job is to hold this. You're going to be, yes. I'm going to pull
a giant rabbit out of here.
Just gets better and better, folks. So, 4.5 gallon bin, so you can put a ton in there. You saw us just shred a bunch, right? And you can see it's really not very full yet. But when it's time to empty your container, this is another really nice feature that you'll find pretty much only here. Yeah, we don't see this on other brands. And it is this, look, this quick release. I just emptied it. Did you see how fast it was? So, look, you can see there, that's the whole thing. And then this, boom, this folds back up. And again, just a reminder, the clear front, we just have out here for demonstration purposes, but all of the shredders, no matter what, and you can see it well on the teal over here, no matter which shredder you're buying, they all do have this clear, yeah, perfect. So she's popping in credit cards. They have this clear window, so you can see, you know, when it starts to get full. By the way, it will automatically stop. There's a little button or a little light on the top that tells you when the bin is full, tells you if it's overheated, if it's loaded, and when it's ready, all of those different things.
Something to note, though, which I absolutely love. Mine that I have at home that I've had for many, many years does not do that. If you have to pull your shredder out and you've got to try to dump it into a, let's say, I put mine in a plastic, you know, bag, and then I take it to our recycling area, and then I open it up and I throw it in recycling. So that's a really good feeling, too, because you actually can recycle this. And again, even in where we throw all of our trash away, people can go through all that information. And there's like 600-700 units where I live. and everybody goes to this one trash place. You don't want them reaching in and getting your medical record. You don't want them reaching in and saying, oh, look, I can apply for a credit card under Joe Schmo's name. I mean, and it absolutely, and we know this, we've done the research, it can take years and thousands of dollars to straighten this stuff out. If you've ever had identity theft, it happened to my brother, it happened to my sister, Marlo Smith for years.
I will never forget.
Years, who's another host here at HSN,
it was awful.
Trying to fix identity theft that happened to her. Here's the problem, guys. You're throwing stuff out and you think, oh, it'll never happen to me. Or you're using a marker and you know you skip it because it's too long. Or you're just tearing it in half. And again, my girlfriends and I were debating on the merits of shredding. And she goes, oh, I don't shred stuff. And I go, you've got to be kidding me. And she lives in a neighborhood, right? And I go, what do you do? She goes, oh, I just throw it in the trash. I go, Lana,
yikes.
I go, are you kidding me? And she just didn't understand. Then I start my whole spiel. Like,
right.
I do this same spiel with my friends, guys. We just had this conversation a couple days ago. And when I found out a dear friend of mine doesn't shred her information, I was appalled. I'm like, are you kidding me? Because every time you don't, you're risking someone using your information for no good, unfortunately.
It's one thing to not know, but now you know. I mean, it is one thing to sort of not be aware. We're here to make you aware. It is not just Suzanne and I. Again, I'd love to show you that quote from the FTC that recommends that one of the ways we can protect ourselves. I'm talking about this on computers all the time. You know, when I talk about antivirus and anti-spyware and that kind of things. But there are still, very important physical ways to protect our identity. There are many steps consumers can take to minimize your risk of being an identity theft victim. For example, customers should closely guard your social security number and here's what's key, shred your charge receipts, your copies of credit applications, and shred other sensitive documents. The FTC recommends it. We're giving you a way to do it not only really, inexpensively today because it's today's special, but a way to do it really effectively and really easily. Some things I'll remind you of as I show you just how quick this shreds. There's a 120-page auto document feeder, so you don't have to shred 1, 2, 3 at a time. What's nice is you can use this manual bypass tray in the front. Even while that auto doc feeder is going, I'm popping in credit cards, I'm popping in things that have staples. I'm just putting some staples in here so you can see. Earlier you saw me putting in mail pieces, you name it. It all goes right in and comes out totally shredded on the other side. It's a 4.5-gallon bin. There's a safety feature on it that if the bin comes out at all, that automatically stops the shredding. So you never have to worry about safety, which I think is really important. A couple of the creature comforts that you'll love. This comes fully assembled. So when you get it home, all you do is open it up, plug it in the wall, and you're ready to go. There is no additional assembly that's required at all, which is really super convenient. It also requires no maintenance. Unlike other shredders, which require oil sheets, which are expensive and kind of messy, quite frankly, to keep the shredder running, to keep the blades running, this doesn't require any maintenance. So it's maintenance-free, it's hassle-free, it comes fully assembled, fully put together. And in case you didn't notice, even the casters on the bottom are on it, and there are casters.
Beautiful.
The casters make it, they really just make it nice to be able to move it easily. It only weighs about 25 pounds, so certainly you can pick it up, but if you don't want to pick it up, you don't have to. It can roll right wherever you need it to.
And I want to add one more element, because again, I'm a nerd and I love doing research. And the same, I looked at another government study and they were saying, how do you do it? Number one, shred. That was their number one piece of advice. It was interesting, as you got down to the other options, one of them was identity recovery service, and the other one was get a identity theft insurance. And you know what those two represent? Money, 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 money. So why do you want to spend monthly to have these services? And the government recommended, they said shred first. That was their easiest answer. Then this was on down the list. That just means you're spending money every single month to guarantee you have some type of protection, when really instead of spending all that extra money, all you need is a great shredder.
Yeah.
And this one, guys, is the most versatile. It's the most powerful one we've done. It is the lowest price with the most capacity we've ever offered. And this is really important because a lot of people will think, oh, back to school, and now that the kids are back, I'm gonna get organized and look at all these stacks of offers I have and credit card offers and paper. I wanna get rid of them. This is our only shredder today, special of the entire year. Not just HP, but of all of our brands. So if you really wanna pick up just an absolute winner, this is it. And then once you get it, you can forget about it, and then you don't worry anymore. Gosh, that's the best thing. I love shredding, and it feels so Exciting because I know no one's going to get my personal information. And it's a great clutter buster. That's the other thing I absolutely love about it. I don't have boxes and shelves full of old papers that I've been keeping, or old checkbooks I've been keeping for 100 years. I just shred them and then I feel good about it. All right, guys, I do want to mention it is very exciting because we have free shipping on all electronics right now, including our today's special. So I just want to give you a heads up. Two things I want you to note. This HP HP computer, a laptop 14-inch at a price for some no-name computer, is coming up in a moment. Also, you have to see this printer coming up from HP. I promise you will not believe the deal we have for you.
Be the first.